All right, let's get right into it. You have spent decades, right, building an amazing career, leading teams, creating incredible value. But what if I told you that your greatest asset, all that hard-won experience, is the very thing getting your resume thrown in a digital trash can before a human being even sees it? Today, we are cracking the code on these automated systems that are standing between you and your next big role. And this is the stark reality. A staggering 75% of all resumes that get submitted for a job are rejected by software. They just never reach a hiring manager. They never get to a recruiter. They are simply filtered out by an algorithm before any real conversation can even start. And for you, the seasoned professional, the data is even tougher. You face a 40% higher rejection rate from these systems. And get this, that's compared to younger candidates with the exact same qualifications. The problem isn't your experience, not at all. It's that your resume just isn't speaking the right language for the machine. So let's talk about this resume black hole. Where do our applications actually go when we hit submit? Well, they're fed into something called an Applicant Tracking System, or ATS. And honestly, understanding this system is the absolute first step to beating it. Now, you might be thinking this is just a big company problem, right? Wrong. Look at this. Over 95% of Fortune 500 companies are using an ATS, sure, but so are 75% of all other employers. These things are everywhere now, which means you absolutely cannot afford to ignore them. And let's be really clear here, these are not the simple keyword scanners from 10 years ago. Oh no. Modern ATS platforms use sophisticated AI and natural language processing. We're talking seconds. In just a few seconds, they analyze everything: your formatting, keyword quality, the context of your achievements, and your overall relevance to the job. And here's the part that is just so frustrating. The very things that make you impressive to a person, like having decades of experience, can actually trigger age bias filters in the software. Things like graduation dates from the 90s or mentioning older tech, they can silently lower your score and you'll never even know why. So here is the first rule of the game, and it's a big one. Before we even talk about the words on your resume, we have to nail the formatting. This is the first and honestly the most unforgiving filter. If the machine can't read your document cleanly, nothing else you've written even matters. And this is a perfect breakdown of what to do and what not to do. Everything on the left, headers, footers, tables, text boxes, even your cool personal logo, it can completely break the parser. To the machine, it's just a bunch of gibberish. You have to stick to the simple, clean stuff on the right, a single column, standard fonts like Arial or Calibri, and save it as a docx file for the best compatibility. And let's build on that, because the order of your sections matters just as much. The ATS is actually programmed to look for information in a specific sequence. It expects to find your contact info right there in the main body, not the header, followed by a summary, your core skills, and then, of course, your professional experience, starting with the most recent job first. Okay, so once the machine can actually read your resume, it starts analyzing the content. And this brings us to keywords. But here's the trick. Modern systems are smart. They can easily spot and penalize what they call keyword stuffing. You need a much more sophisticated strategy than that. And I love this 4-layer strategy because it's so simple and it makes sure you have the right mix. You want to aim for a few core skills, a couple of industry-specific terms, the current tools and tech for your field, and maybe 1 or 2 relevant soft skills. This creates a really balanced, authentic profile that the ATS will score very highly. And here's what that looks like in practice. The example on the left, that's just a keyword dump. The system sees that and flags it as low quality. But the example on the right, now that's perfect. It weaves at least 5 different keywords into a single, powerful achievement statement that, and this is key, includes a clear metric. That's what scores the points. Okay, let's tackle that age bias thing head on. This is not about hiding your experience. No way. It's about presenting it strategically. For professionals over 40, optimizing for the ATS and creating an age-neutral resume are pretty much the exact same challenge. The 15-year rule is a fantastic way to handle this. As you can see here, you give the most detail for your most recent roles, the ones from the last 5 years. As you go further back in time, you get more and more concise, focusing only on the highest impact achievements. Anything beyond 15 years? That can be summarized in a single line, or, honestly, even left off entirely. And here are some super quick, high-impact updates you can make today. Drop the graduation year from your degree, right now.
Swap out dated phrases like seasoned professional for something more dynamic, like strategic leader. Update your tech terms. It's Microsoft 365 now, not Microsoft Office. And yes, if you're still using an old email from AOL or Hotmail, it is time for a Gmail account. These small signals really do matter.
Okay, I know that was a lot of theory, so let's turn it into a concrete plan of attack. Here is a straightforward 30-day framework to completely overhaul your resume and start beating these bots. So it's broken down pretty logically. Week 1 is all about the foundation. You're going to collect job descriptions to build your keyword list, and then rebuild your resume in that clean ATS-friendly format. Weeks 2 and 3, that's when you do the real work, rewriting your content to weave in those keywords and remove any of those age flags. And then week 4 is all about testing, applying, and tracking your results. And what are we tracking exactly? Well, this is your target. When your new optimized resume starts getting a 15 to 20% response rate, meaning you're hearing back from about 1 in every 5 applications, that's when you know the system is working. That is your benchmark for success. Okay, I get it. This is a lot of information, and it can feel like a really daunting technical process to get right. It's a whole new set of rules to learn on top of what is already a pretty stressful process, right? But the good news is you don't have to sit there and guess. Just like technology created this problem, it's also provided the solution. There are tools out there designed specifically to do this complex analysis for you. A really great resource is passthescan.com. You just upload your resume and its AI gives you an instant analysis. It'll point out formatting errors, it'll flag missing keywords from the job description you're targeting, and it'll even find those subtle, age-revealing signals we talked about. It gives you a clear roadmap and just takes all the guesswork out of the process. Your experience is incredibly valuable, and now you have the tools to make sure everyone sees it.